Hi everybody, just a word of warning, the hooks are out, which means that today's offering is a crochet tutorial video. So let's get started. On Sunday I did a Halloween collaboration video and I showed you a little book I made which had one of these decorating the spine. Now I've been asked to do a tutorial on how I made this particular little article. Now these little things here, I'll show you two more of them in a thinner yarn. These are called curlicues, they're called curly whirlies, they're called lamb's tails, they're called twisty things. They have a whole lot of different names for them. I think curlicue is the one you see used on YouTube, but the twisty things is I think what a lot of people call them. So I'll show you how to crochet them. It's very easy, and once again I say this I don't know how many times, it's a technique, it's not a pattern. You can alter the number of stitches, the number of chains you put up, the yarn you use, just to suit yourself. And they're a great way of using up spare yarn or any kind of oddballs of yarn that you have lying around the house, or anything that you pick up cheap at the local yarn shop and you find you don't know what to do with it. Why did I buy that yarn? So here we go. I'm speaking a bit louder because Dee, that's Betsy Doodle, couldn't hear me in the last video. So if I seem to be shouting or roaring, it's not at you, it's at Betsy Doodle. So here we go. This time I'm using double knitting yarn in a nice pink colour because I know a lot of you like pink, and I'm using a 4mm crochet hook, but you can adapt it to whatever you can use whatever you have. If you have thicker yarn, use a thicker hook. Now, of course, here we go with trying to sort out thread. First of all, we start off by making a slip knot. Just put the yarn around your fingers, make a loop and draw a loop through it. Now I heard Marlou on one of her videos, that's Gracie's Place here on YouTube, and she was saying that her hands always look purple on camera. Mine do too. It's just the way the camera and the lighting distorts your skin. I haven't been having a wash in beetroot juice. Anyway, you put the slip loop on your hook. I'll go through that again just in case. Shut up talking, Geraldine, shut up. Now, take the yarn that's going from the ball, wind it around two of your fingers, make a loop, and then draw up the end of the yarn through the loop and put this on your hook. I'm going to make 18 chains. You can make more or less. I wouldn't make less than 15 chains because you need enough yarn to give the kind of twirly-gig effect. So I'm going to make 18. 1, 2, 3, 4. What am I doing here? Sorry. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So I'm making 18 chains for a small to medium little curlicue. And when you're making your chains, make them fairly open and loose because you're going to have to go back into them again and make several stitches into each chain. So don't crochet too tight or you'll make life miserable for yourself. So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to work a double crochet into the 4th chain from the hook. The first 3 chains here are counted as a double crochet. When I mean double crochet, I mean the stitch that's called a double crochet in the US and Canada, but in Europe and Australia and other places it's known as a treble crochet. It's the stitch where you have one loop on the hook, you put your yarn around the hook, and then you go into the chain, you pull through a loop, catch another loop and pull it through two loops, catch up again and pull through 2. Now in the first chain you make 4 double crochets. I'm only have hard on 3, 4, and then you make your way back down the chain, crocheting 5 double crochets into each loop. Now, most of the videos, if not all of the videos and instructions I've seen about making these curlicues or curly whirlies, they tell you to make 3 double crochets into each loop. I find this isn't enough, and it can leave your curly whirly or your curlicue looking kind of open and gappy. Besides, if you're trying to use up yarn, you can put more stitches into each loop. So I'm putting 5 stitches into each chain as I go down along. And yes, it is going to get crowded, and it is going to get awkward looking, and it is going to get dreadful looking, but that's life, folks. You just have to work through it, and it'll all get sorted out at the end, I promise. So if you feel like trying to do 3 double crochets into each chain, that's fine. If you want to work 4, that's fine. Just try it out. As I say, it is a technique. It's not a hard and fast pattern. I'm not telling you how to knit a pair of socks. This is crochet. There's room for experimentation, which is why I like crochet rather than knitting. If you hear any noise in the background, that's my dogs going mad because they're not allowed upstairs because my husband is on a Skype at the moment. Mr. Snippets is Skyping with somebody and the dogs want to join in. So they're a bit restless. So you keep going, working, say 5 double crochet into each chain, back along down to here where you started. And it's going to look like this, bunched and terrible, but never mind. Now, here's one I started earlier. I'm down right at the last chain now, and I'm going to finish it off and show you how to deal with it. Let's see here. I've come to the last. I've worked 5 double crochets into the last chain, and I'm just going to pull the thread through and fasten it off. Now everything, you can use this to sew your curlicue onto something afterwards, and you'll be left with this kind of an ignorant looking ruffle. But you go back to the end and you see where it has started to curl up here at the end, and you gently roll it and encourage it to curl and to do its to curl in the way you want it to. You don't want it to do its own thing, because it will be inclined to curl backwards on itself rather than down. Sometimes if you do one of these in brown, if you do a small one of these in brown, it can look exactly like a pine cone. If you do a longer one in white sparkly yarn, it can become an icicle. But just turn them in. You're forcing it into this shape. It's not really forcing it. It will go into that shape with a little bit of encouragement. And if it doesn't, what you can do is just give it a little pull like this till it goes into kind of the shape of a helter-skelter. So you see, now we have a crochet helter-skelter. You could actually make little bracelets out of these. You can hang them out of hair clips and hair decorations for children. You could make tiny ones and turn them into little dangles for necklaces, as well as using them for the backs of books and journals. So there we are. That's your, let's see, I'll go down into it. That's our perfect little pink tassel. Yeah, tassel, curlicue, curly whirlies, whatever you like. So I hope you found this video helpful. I'm not getting as many views as I used to get on my crochet tutorials, so I don't really know whether to continue with them. So if you want crochet tutorials to continue, could you let me know? And could you also give me an idea of what sort of crochet you'd like, or what sort of things you'd like me to do tutorials on? Now, I don't do huge patterns, like I won't be doing anything like how to crochet a winter sweater or anything like that. It's mainly the sort of crochet somebody like a paper crafter or somebody who makes journals or books might be interested in, for paper crafters and crafters. But please leave me some feedback, and if you like what I'm doing, please subscribe and give me a thumbs up. So have a go. If you can crochet at all you need to know is how to make a chain stitch and how to make a double crochet. So have a lovely day, enjoy experimenting, hug your yarn, bye.